Good morning from Dubai. I have literally just landed about an hour ago and I'm exhausted and I look like crap. So sorry about that this morning. It's 6 a.m. here and I'm just hiding out on the balcony because I don't want to wake the boys up because they're all sleeping and I've just snuck in. So I've just spent the week in Lebanon. Fantastic country, absolutely amazing, friendly people, the food is delicious, and there's so much history there, so much history. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about religious history. So Lebanon is a great place to start, as there's many places in the Middle East. So I landed and headed out to a place called Baalbek, which is in the Bekaa Valley. And it's quite high. You have to go over quite high mountain range, Mount Lebanon mountain range. So there was lots of snow up the top there, and it was snowing when we passed through all the way back, which was amazing. And what you'll find in Baalbek is a very massive Roman site, archaeological site. And the lady that was taking us around, Natasha, she was a archaeologist as well. So not only was she a tour guide, she absolutely knew what she was talking about, and she explained everything to us. And at this site, there's the triad of temples of Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury, amongst other temples that was built by the Romans like 1800, 1900 years ago. And what I found interesting about that is not just how well preserved they were, considering they were so old, but she explained to us the history of how these temples were built with their original purpose to the sort of Greek/Roman gods, and then as conquerors came and took over the land, their purpose changed. So during the Byzantine era, the temples were converted into churches and cathedrals, and then as Islamic rule came in, they were either citadels, part of them were turned into mosques. And I just thought it was so incredible that these stones, these beautiful columns, you know, that have hosted fanfare and ceremony of, you know, a multitude of religions over the ages, which is really just quite fascinating to me as we wandered around. Hi, how you going, Delmeet? Yeah, so that was one of the places that I went. Another place that I went is Jebel, or Byblos, as it's also known. This is an amazing coastal town in Lebanon. Beautiful, stunning backdrop. Obviously, Lebanon is a coastal country with 240 kilometers of coastline. And in this spot, there was temples again, a temple for the god of war, a temple for a sort of equivalent to Venus being the god of love, but she was also music and dance and something else, which was quite cool. But these ruins, this site that we went to, dates back to the Phoenicians. So the Phoenician era is the furthest back civilization dated to Lebanon, and it's 6,000 years. 6,000 years these structures have been there, and over you know, different civilizations coming and going, they have built on top of them. But to find you know, evidence of, you know, residential settlements and houses of worship and things like that, that far back is just incredible to me. G'day Trace, how you going? Bit warmer than I am, I bet, in sunny Brisbane. Yeah, so that was incredible as well, and it sort of brought to my attention, you know, this idea of religion is something that, you know, you can buy into or not buy into, but whether we like it or not, it shaped our past, and it, you know, is going to continue to be an integral part of our future, because, you know, these sites that have gone through transition and change and so much conflict. Like, I can't believe that some of them are still going strong and still there after the amount of conflict that Lebanon has experienced over the years. It just says my connection is weak, so I hope that you can still see me and I've not gone blurry on you. But yeah, so that was incredible. But the highlight of my week was when I went to a town in the south. So I went to Sidon and Tyre, which had some amazing sights as well. But what really took my breath away was this grotto or cave just outside of Sidon in a town called Magadushe. And in Magadushe, it's written in the Bible that is the place where Mary would wait for Jesus to come back from preaching to the Canaanites. And it was really quite a bizarre feeling for me to be there. And I've been to lots of sort of sacred sites for many religions, but I'd never been anywhere that's actually written about in the Bible. And as a Christian, that's my following, that's my path. And the only way I can describe how I felt there was starstruck. So I met Peter Andre when I was 13. It was a very exciting time for me. Mysterious Girl had just come out and I was overwhelmed and I cried a lot. But it was kind of like that. I know that's a weird analogy, but I just sat in this cave and I thought, wow, like Jesus was here. Like he was in this space where I am, a couple of thousand years ago with Mary, and it blew my mind a bit. I really didn't know how to, didn't know what to do with myself. So I just sat there and read the history and just contemplated life and how I ended up being there. And in the modern years, in the last sort of 10 years, I think, they've built this beautiful garden with monuments that sort of go around, and they have prayers that you can do or read as you go around about different places that have occurred nearby, like where Jesus turned water into wine. It's like 15 kilometres down the road and things like that. G'day Susan, how you going? So I walked out of this little chapel. The cave is now a chapel, and this woman just grabbed my arm and led me through to this garden. And my Arabic is really not that good, and her English wasn't great either. But she sort of insisted on leading me around. She was an older lady. She would have been about 70 if she was a day. And she just led me around this garden and stopped at every plaque so that I could, take in the moment, I guess, and read the prayers in the booklet that they have. And she kept pulling rosemary off the rosemary bushes and sort of throwing it before us as we were walking. And I didn't quite know what that was about, and I didn't have the language skills to ask her, so I'll do some research on that. And if you know the religious symbolism of rosemary, let me know, because she also gave me 2 big stems of rosemary as I left to give to my parents when I got back to Australia. So there's obviously something in it, but I don't know what it is. But yeah, so there's so much history in Lebanon, and I'm always embarrassed to say that I was a bit nervous to go there because it's such a safe place. Everybody is so friendly, and if you're into history, whether you're on a pilgrimage or whether you're just interested in the times before, it is absolutely a cracking place to go, because there's it's like the center of religious diversity, because Lebanon has 18 different recognized religious sects. And Pope John Paul, when he was there many years ago, said Lebanon is not just a country, it's an example, because the Christian world, most of the 18 denominations are Christian or Islamic, and they all live together in harmony. And I'm sure, like in any society, if you scratch the surface, there's a little bit of conflict or a little bit of tension, as you're never going to escape everywhere. But it's great. You walk through the streets of Beirut and there's a massive blue mosque right next to a massive church. and they've got this history of the Maronite Christians there. So Saint Marun, whose monastery is high up on the hill in Jebel, I went there as well. That was incredible. And there's stories of miracles performed on that mountain by Masha Bell as well. Honestly, it's just an incredible place to go. It's small enough to get around at day trips. I stayed with two amazing families. Oh, it's told me my connection's weak again. Who just doted on me the whole time and made sure that I knew where I was going and dropped me off a couple of times. Sana and the Khalij family, just adorable and so kind. And everywhere I go, that's the reception that I'm receiving. And even my driver that I had to take me down to the south. Oh, your connection is weak. We had a very interesting discussion about the political history of Lebanon, and even things like Hezbollah or ISIL or the Israeli war, and all of these really sensitive topics that you don't just walk up and ask people about. He was just yapping on about it for 8 hours as we explored the south, and he was really frank and really honest, and just said, you're interested in our country, I'll tell you what's happened in our country. And it was incredible. And I just think that religious history is so important, and I can't wait to continue to explore these places. And if you've ever been anywhere that you think that I should check out, anywhere in the world, any religion in the world, then let me know, because after a week in Lebanon, and I know I say this nearly every time I leave a city that I will be back, I have to get back there. It's just, I haven't even touched the sides. There's so much to explore. It's incredible. And I think, Israel and Jerusalem, Nazareth, Bethlehem, these places that are so important to my faith as a Christian, I think are going to be more of a spiritual experience than I originally thought, because certainly what I've experienced in Lebanon has been just mind-blowing. So yeah, I'm here in Dubai and exhausted, and I'm going to bed. So thanks for tuning in. It's just gone 6:10. But drop your comments below anywhere you think that I should go to explore religious history in the world. Let me know. I'm there. Happy Sunday. See you later.